What a awesome time of worship. Blaine, I love you. Blaine, like Pastor Johnny and Heather said, started the church with us. He was in a Christian screamo band, and Heather asked Pastor Johnny, she was like, hey, did you interview him? Did you have him sing anything for you? And he said, no. So we were scared because coming into the first Sunday, we didn't know if he was going to be Christian screamo or worship. And thank God he was that, because we would have scared some people. So shout out to Pastor Johnny and Heather. Thank you so much for leadership, leading me. Can we give a round of applause for our amazing pastor and his wife? I don't know if Blaine's mom's here. If she is, can you raise your hand? She left. Blaine's shaking his head. So I'm going to tell this story. She told me between services that Blaine's brother had passed away about 4 years ago. And we know Blaine's family, but not like no, you know? And she was telling me, and she was bawling between services. She said, you know, you were thinking, you were talking about Pastor Johnny, and she said, when my son died, Pastor Johnny dropped everything he was doing, drove an hour and a half, brought food, and was there and prayed with us. And she said, that is the spirit, that is the leadership that's leading this church. So thank you, wherever you are, we love you. They're awesome. Man, it's been a week. How's everybody's week been? Megan, my wife, she sings up here. When I told her Pastor Johnny had asked me to preach, she said, you know, we better be ready because Satan's going to come. And boy, howdy, was she right. A lot of times she's right. Are you in here? Oh, man, I said that too loud. Please do not repeat that to my wife because she will hold that over my head. But she is right a lot of times. But hey, find you a friend, a brother, a spouse. If you're in the market, find you somebody in the Way fam that can speak life, can encourage you. You know, we are better together. It's on the wall. We believe that. And she's my rock. That's good. I was going to say number one fan. Hey, well, we're having another baby. I didn't tell that first service. We've been married 13 years. Yeah, my man's clapping. We've been married 13 years. Did not want to have a kid. Period. Nada. Zero. And Pastor Johnny's like, do you not read the Bible? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it says, go be fruitful and multiply. And I was like, well, you know, God tells us to have a kid, we'll have a kid. So he did. Twice. So, yeah, now we're 30, pushing 37, and I got toddlers and braces. I feel like I'm 12. But hey, we're building campaign. Come on, somebody. We were going to build it, and then Corona hit. Everybody, do you know that? Anyway, but hey, the chapel's down, but warn you, we're having some plumbing issues, and if you see some bubbling number twos, no harm. Just keep on walking. Don't try to assess the situation. We're working on it. But true story, they're back there. Multiple locations. So it's not like there's just like... Anyway. But hey, be praying for that. Picture this, because God is going to do amazing things, but Satan is going to try to steal, kill, destroy, and distract us. He's going to try to slow things down. He's going to try to, you know, who knows? But just be praying for that, because, hey, it's real. It's never too late to join that. Man, it's amazing. So, shout out to the Way Fam online, YouTube, Facebook, website, Africa, Maranatha TV. Come on, somebody. Hey, Belgium, like Pastor TJ said, and then I checked yesterday, France. Oui. Is that right? Hey, hang on a second. Je t'aime if you're over watching in France. Does that mean I love you, right? Okay. Pray for Chad. We have two drummers. Here's one of them. But Chad, he's on vacation, and it's just a phenomenal vacation, it sounds like, because he woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday, pain, and being a dudes take a lot of pain, right? So for him to be crunched over like that, I mean, it's got to be brutal. But anyway, he had to have emergency surgery. So he's down at Disney World having emergency surgery, so that's fun. But we're praying for you. We love you. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about worship today. Let's look at something funny. Oh, when they play your favorite song during worship, you be like, who's that? I'm like, oh, you're playing Rest on Us? I'll be like that. Yeah, let's go. This one, what's the next one? Worship leaders be like, oh no, you never let go. They never pronounce the actual word. They like turn it into something else that's not through the. So anyway, this next one, that's me. Yeah, I did that first service. I'm up here singing and I jumped ahead and I'm like, they're not changing. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? So yeah, that's me right there. Oh, yeah, Phil Wickham. Phil Wickham sings in super high keys. So when we show up on Sunday and we realize, hey, we didn't change the key, that's what we look like. Yes. Like, oh no. That wasn't me. That was the guy next to me or the girl behind me. So, let's have some fun. What is worship? The word worship is a compressed form of the Old English term worthship, which means to give something worth, to give value to a deity or God. So we worship God by communicating and demonstrating his value. So first thought, worthship. The first time worship, not worship, worship is mentioned in the Bible is Genesis 22. Sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith. Abraham, God called. Yes, he replied, here I am. Take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, which I will show you. The next morning, Abraham got up early, he saddled his donkey, took two of his servants with him, along with his son Isaac. Then he chopped wood for a fire, for a burnt offering, and set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day of their journey, Abraham looked up, saw the place in the distance. Verse 5. Stay here with the donkey, Abraham told his servants. The boy and I will travel a little farther. We will worship there, and then we will come right back. It's interesting, the first time worship is introduced in the Bible, it doesn't talk about drum solos or any kind of songs, any kind of music. It is literally talking about the obedience to the voice of God and sacrifice. Worship should be, whether you're good time, bad time, poor time, rich time, whatever time it is, anytime, through every circumstance, we worship him because God is worth it. Abraham worshiped God by communicating and demonstrating his value by his obedience to do what God called him to do. God had called him to sacrifice his only son. As I'm studying for this, in Hebrews, it says, by faith, Abraham knew, and I don't have it in here, so I'm trying to go off memory. Abraham knew that God would bring him back from the dead by faith. So he demonstrated that value. My father-in-law passed away a few months ago, 3 months ago. But I was up here working, and me and Pastor Johnny and Pastor TJ were back there, and he wasn't doing too good, and really it was kind of just a waiting game. He wasn't getting any better. He wasn't. It wasn't good. So my wife called me and she said, hey, my dad died. So she was really upset, obviously, given the circumstances. She was extremely upset. I'm back in the back, and Pastor Johnny's like, hey, go home, be with your wife. So I go home, And I don't know what I'm going into. I have no idea. I know what my wife is. I know what kind of worshiper my wife is. I know what kind of spiritual woman she is. I know what kind of mother she is. I know what kind of friend she is. But I have literally, I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know if she's just, snot coming out everywhere and I just wanted to be there for her. And I walk in and she's on her hands and knees crying, worshiping. Probably singing King of My Heart, in all reality. If salvation is all we get from this life, if salvation is it, we're going to worship. But God is so good. I mean, we just sang that. How many can raise their hand and testify of something good in your life from God? Right? But even if nobody raised their hand, but you have salvation, you can go to heaven and be made right with God, we still are going to worship. The gift of salvation is enough. Romans 5:8, but God showed his great love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners. So we, you, me, we, the church is the bride of Christ. We are like the back wall says, no perfect people allowed church. We're jerks. Sometimes we're mean. We say hateful things. We don't have grace. We don't do anything that honors God in a day. I mean, but he sent his son. He silenced the world when he demonstrated that. We were bought at the price of God's son to prove once and for all that he loves the church, his people. 1 Samuel 12:24. Be sure to fear the Lord and faithfully serve him. Think of all the wonderful things he has done for you. Think about that. Literally, I've done some terrible things. I've said some terrible things to people. I've treated my wife. I tell you what, if you're married and you want a heart check, say something mean to your wife and then look at her and go, oh snap, you're the daughter of God. Like I could, when her father-in-law was here, you know what I'm saying, I could say something mean to her then, because I would, he would get mad. I don't know what I'm trying to say. His son's right there, and he's way bigger than me. So I didn't mean that. He's got bigger arms than me. They're like bigger than my head. But anyway, but you start thinking about that to God. You start thinking eternally, not worldly. You're going to not want to say mean things to his daughter. But that goes the other way. You can't say mean things to his son either. But literally, he took all our sin. He took all the mean stuff. He took all the crap. He took all the, can you say crap? He took everything. Took everything. And said, I'm going to give you this gift, and you may not choose it, but I'm going to give it. God, and if you choose it, it's going to be good. Gosh, man, that's good. If the cross proves how much we are worth to God, our worship proves how much God is worth to us. How many people in your life, if you see them on a regular basis, will know, man, his God is worth something to him, or his God is worth something to her. You were saved for more than forgiveness, for more than singing these songs, for more than sitting through church, for more than going to work every day, more than Facebook or the gram or those, what are those things? Fortnite dances? Is that it? Did I get it? But seriously, you were saved for more than this junk in this world because, hey, guess what? The Bible says that when the go. The grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of God stands forever. All this other junk in this world is going to be gone. We were saved for God because he loves us, and he wants to have a relationship with us. A relationship just like me and Chris has, a relationship like me and my wife. A real relationship. But when we hear the word worship, we automatically think songs, which is fine. Worship is music. Psalm 28:7, the Lord is my strength and my shield. I trust him with all my heart. He helps me and my heart is filled with joy. I burst out in songs of thanksgiving. I think about my wife worshiping when her dad just passed away. Why is she doing that? Because joy is not circumstantial based. Joy comes from Jesus. Joy is not happiness. We don't sing to God because we're good singers. We sing to God because he's a good God. I am a terrible singer, but my God covers up my terrible voice, and I sing to him because he's a good God. But why does he love us to sing so much? I've always wondered that. Like, my wife loves to sing. I love to sing. I'm terrible. Except for that one time we were rehearsing. I didn't tell this first service. We were rehearsing for a Christmas special. You know what I'm saying? You remember that. And God has given me the ability when they're rehearsing, like, I know the times, I don't know what you call it, but she's up there and she's like, I can't get it. And I come up and it was like between Fergie and Jesus, you know? And I come up and I was like, I don't even remember, it was There Is a Light. His name is Jesus. That wasn't it, but it was phenomenal. I could never do that again. If you said, hey, I'm going to give you $100,000, I need you to hit this perfectly, I couldn't do it. But God, he's a singer. Zephaniah 3:17, for the Lord your God is living among you. He is a mighty Savior. He will take delight in you with gladness. With his love, this is good, he will calm your fears. Who is afraid today? But with his love, he calms it. He will rejoice over you with joyful songs. We love singing, but so does God. He loves singing over with joyful songs. Songs are important. Serving God, next thought, means serving his desires. The second most often used Greek word for worship is latreu. It means to minister or to serve God. I thought I was going to burp there. But I didn't. I didn't want to pull Pastor Johnny. He was like, "Bleh." But worship is not for man; it is for God. Worship. Let's think about that, and let's keep that for the rest of this message. Latreu is to minister to God or to serve God. When we started the church, there was about 6 of us, and Pastor Johnny met with me and Megan and said, hey, we would like you guys to pray about starting a church with us. And I was like, yeah, we will. We were going to another church at the time. They probably ran, 500-600 people. Every Sunday I could sit in the back. I could sit anywhere, really. And wouldn't be noticed. Tithing plate comes by, just let it on go. Didn't tithe. Didn't give anything. Didn't serve. Didn't do nothing. Literally checked the box, hoping that because of that leading my wife, that it was gonna be good. Not the case. Because not the case. So anyway, we started praying about it. I was like, Megan, hey, if we're going to do this, we got to be obedient. We can't say we're going to be obedient on one thing on Sunday and then come Monday and Tuesday decide that we're not going to be obedient. So I said, okay. I said, Johnny, if we do this, I don't tithe. And there's only 6 people, so you're going to know that it's not me. You're going to know when you check the docket or whatever it is. That, all right, we're going through tithes. Cannons. I see that you haven't. So anyway, But the crazy thing is what I thought I could hide from man, Johnny, I said, well, I thought if I can hide it from, I don't know, what am I doing? If I can hide it from Johnny, I could definitely hide it from God because I can see him. So if I can hide it from him, sure, I can hide it from God. That's not the case. And it's not about the money. It is not about the paper. It is not about the dollar. It is about the heart. And Latreyu is serving God, not serving man. So if I'm serving God with my money, I am not serving Johnny. So we worshiped out of obedience. And it was, I mean, there's been, over 6 years where you're like, what about this? What about this? And then we just keep doing it, and God provides. But hey, don't do it. We didn't do it out of something in return. We did it out of obedience. Serving God means serving his desire. And he desires people. When you serve his people, you serve the one who created them. So we've established that this is worship. 2 weeks ago, we gave away food. We had 24 pallets of groceries, milk, whatever. That right there was just as much worship as what we did this morning here. Okay, so Pastor Johnny tells us, hey, it does no good to give you food. We don't tell these people. But it tells us it's no good to give them food and not tell them about Jesus. Food's good. Food will fill their stomach, sure. But we're wanting to do more than fill their stomach. We're wanting to give them purpose. We're wanting them to find salvation through Jesus. So 2 weeks ago, we did that. And some lady pulls up and she's like, how much food? I'm like, hey, you're lucky because we have a ton of food. So how much can you take? And she said 6 boxes. I thought she said 60. So I said, okay, sure, 60. We loaded her up. I don't know how many, she didn't take 60. We were giving a lot away. But she just started crying. I said, how can I pray for you? She said, I need prayer. I don't know what. I said, do you know Jesus? She said, no. I said, let's do this. So she accepted Jesus. So come on, somebody. It is more. Yeah, it's, muggy and this and that and the other, but it's so much bigger than what we're doing. So much bigger. Romans 12:1. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship. The Apostle Paul is pleading with us right now to give up our bodies to God. Give up our lives for God to use them. I think about how many times, that I've been available, but then I also think about how many times I've been unavailable. If I'm tired or my anxiety's up or something, or if I'm driving through and should I pick up this person or should I buy, so I think about both sides of that. But when we give up that and let us be a living and holy sacrifice, this is truly the way we worship. And then 12:2, don't copy the behavior and customs of the world, but let God transform you to a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for your life, which is good, pleasing, and perfect. Don't copy the behavior and customs. Hey man, right now this world is trying to tell you what is up and what is down and what is right and what is wrong. And we stand on the Word of God here. So none of that other stuff matters. The Word of God is what matters. The world says you don't need church, but hey, you don't need them. You're a good person. You don't murder. You don't kill. Okay. Don't give up your Sundays for church. Seriously, Sundays are for football or wrestling. Is there wrestling on Sunday? No? Okay. If you go to church, you don't need to serve. Are you kidding me? Why do you need to serve? Just go and sit through service and go home. That's what we used to do. We used to just check the box, and I thought, okay, we'll go. God knows we're there, I think. We'll just go and check the box. And then you get to the point, why are they asking for money? I'm not giving my money. That's a big one. It is not about the dollar. It's not about that. It's about the heart. And the world is constantly trying to change our thinking. When we think eternally, our priorities shift. Worldly, it's, yeah, you don't need my money, you can do this. Or you don't need my skills because you can do this. That's not the case, because in Romans 12:7, if your gift is serving others, serve them well. How many people in here can serve? Nobody. That's not looking good. There you go. What's up, girl? If you are a teacher, teach well. Who's a teacher? Yes. If your gift is encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. Listen, if serving is below you, leadership is above you. And I've heard that. And as I'm studying for this, it reminded me of Jesus washing the feet of the disciples. The disciples are they're up there and they're breaking bread and all that, but they're arguing, well, who's better? Am I better than you? Am I better than you? We all do that. I have done it. Hey, am I better than you? I don't cuss as much, or I don't, whatever. That's all I got. I don't listen to as much trash as you. I listen to the edited version of Tupac. Listen, I've listened to the unedited version enough that I can sing you the unedited version in the edited version. So, find you some Lecrae or something. But, so Jesus, they're arguing. Jesus, he got up and he said, I'm going to wash your feet. He just started washing feet. And he went on to explain, unless I wash you, you can't be with me. Unless I wash you, you have no part with me. John 13:8, no, Peter protested, you will never wash my feet. Jesus replied, unless I wash you, you won't belong to me. Jesus came to serve. Jesus wants to wash your feet. He wants to wash my feet. He washed Judas' feet. He broke bread knowing that he would betray him. I know on the internet, I've seen it a lot. It said like Judas ate too. And it talks about how, even though Judas betrayed him and sold Jesus for some silver, he was allowed to eat. I mean, I've been there. When we started the church, I wanted to serve. I didn't know what that looked like. I wanted to serve. I didn't own a computer. I didn't have a smartphone. I dressed like I was working on a construction site all the time. And now this. I mean, look at God. The three words, look at God. But I knew I wanted God to use me. So let's give a round of applause for our dream team. Who's on the dream team? Look at all these people. Yes. We could not do Sundays without you. We could not reach the unreached without you. We could not serve God's church without you. Parking. I ain't parking people in here? I got one. What's up, Clayton? What's up, baby? I see you. Our parking people, they are phenomenal. We get messages. People tell us all the time, hey, we pulled in because your parking people were just amazing and we felt the love and we just felt something different, so we pulled in. That's to you. That's to the leadership that you have, which is Lindsay, hospitality. Our hospitality team, again, phenomenal. I think it's amazing that, and probably Lindsay can attest to this, but I don't think we have greeted or parked any differently since day one. I don't think so, because Pastor Johnny instilled in us, we have to love. Which we do love, but it's about that, and there's just something different. We had a preschool graduation here the other day, and we had people greeting and a few Parkers, and some lady came in. She was like, "We don't go to church here, but wow, we feel something different here." So great team. Lindsay leads that. It's amazing when new guests come up, they get to see. How many of y'all have experienced that? As a new person coming in, and our team greeting you. Hopefully, yes, yeah. Way cool kids. Who's got a kid? I got a kid. One on the way. Yeah, you got like 10. Yeah. You think I'm kidding? He does. Literally 10 kids. They're not all in Way Cool Kids though. But hey, our Way Cool Kids. Servant leaders, Stephanie, I'm looking at one. They are a different breed. They are pouring into your kids with Jesus and with fun stuff and with just everything good. So we over here can have a distraction-free environment to where we can sing, we can worship, we can hear the gospel, we can do everything we want to do here in Big Church. Just amazing. I love kids. If Owen was over here, he'd be a distraction. And I would tell him, get him out of here. He is running around. I can't even pay attention. So thank you, Way Cool Kids. Our grounds team, I'm pretty sure this is like hole 19 of a golf course somewhere. Because this courtyard right here, it is like plush. If you ever get a chance, take your shoes off, walk through it. It's phenomenal. But I talked to one of them, Clayton, and he's like, "Man, this is how I serve God." And I'm like, "That'll preach, because it's 150 out and you're push mowing. So I appreciate you worshiping like that, because it's hot." But Colossians 3:23. This touches right there. Work willingly at whatever you do. Whatever you do, as though you're working for the Lord rather than for people. When you are serving, when I'm mowing or weed eating, when you're mow or weed eating, you're like you're done. You're out of energy. You've hit your wall. You're like, I don't even care if I make it back to the barn, but I am done. But there's times that I'm like, oh, I forgot to weed eat that sign. If that was my house, I would have just left it. I'm being serious. But this isn't my house. This is God's house, and this is his church. And then I'm like, oh, man, he's going to know I didn't weed eat that. So then I go back and weed eat it. But they, all joking aside, do work willingly at whatever you do, as though you're working for the Lord. Youth, holy moly, this area has exploded. Any 6th through 12th graders in here? You can raise your hand, or I will call you up here. I won't do that. My wife sent me a time hop of 3 years ago. I was preaching in youth, and there was 8 kids. 8. And I felt like their eyes were like UV rays beating down on me. Like, that's not in the Bible. Were you in there? That message speak to you? Just change you? No. Okay. But anyway, 8 kids. Now on a Wednesday, these kids have had to move out of the event center. They've had to move in here. Our team leads worship for them. For 2 songs, we have like a mini Sunday service because they've outgrown it so much, and there's about 50 to 60 kids on here. Our youth pastor, is he in here? I'm not going to say anything nice because he can hear me. No, seriously, he's great. The kids, he's got a phenomenal team, but he's always looking for people. Always looking for people. Production team. Yeah, there he is. There's one of them. Can we give a round of applause? Hey, how you doing? So they allow us to broadcast everywhere. Come on. But I think the key is you need to serve where your gift is. Somebody, I'm not going to serve in kids. I love kids, but this is not my thing. Stephanie, she's great with kids. I don't know if she's a singer, but she maybe not. Are you not? Okay. See, she wouldn't be on the singing. She wouldn't be on the worship team, but she serves in kids. Serve where your gift is. Our goal is to give God everything we have because he gave us everything he had. Matthew 20:28, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many.